Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you so much for joining
Hi.
me. I'm so excited to kind of talk to you about the show. There's just so much to get into. Before we begin, maybe give yourself a bit of an introduction.
My name is Xyzelle. I am an artist. I was seen on Project Icon, and yeah, I'm 21. I model, do bits and bobs, and
Yes.
yeah.
Well, it's, you know what, you say bits and bobs, but recently I saw you share one of your Boots campaign that you were part of,
Uh,
which is quite major.
yeah. Neutrogena. It was a campaign I shot like last year, just before the show.
Amazing, amazing. So how long have you been doing modeling first? Was it like modeling and then music or music?
I did music first and foremost, and then to support like the music thing, I was like, modeling is the perfect thing to get into, just
Mhm.
like money wise, to like fund the studio, mixing, mastering, photo shoots, all of that. I was just like,
Right.
let's just do modeling. I've only started 2021.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So that's a very, very recent thing. So it actually kind of brings me on to like the question that I had for most of the show. One of the key things for you, I feel like, was star quality, because the show, which I think is fair enough, because when I applied for the show, a lot of the kind of not criteria, but the description of the show was they're looking for somebody who's like an all-rounder, somebody who does the music, does the social media, has the look, has the personality. Is that kind of how you've approached music in your personal life? Like, I actually want to look at it like in an all-round way, or just focus on vocals or music?
Yeah, definitely. Like obviously, like music's a big important part of it. But I think music, I see business like it's a product at the end of the day. It's a market. But I feel like you just have to package the music.
How did you find out about the show? Were you approached, or did you go
Yeah,
through?
I was approached. I got an email from them, and like it had the single that I released around the time attached to it. But then when I audition, one of the judges in my in-person auditions was like, well, she wasn't the judge for me, but she was the judge for the other group.
Mhm.
um she already judged me on an audition I did for the Little Mix talent show.
Ah, okay. Okay, so you were part of that kind of like cohort of artists, for I think it was for Little Mix, The Search at the
Yeah.
time. Okay, okay. So, that's really interesting. Did you find the difference, like a big difference between the two shows and the application process?
Yeah, definitely. I think the Little Mix search was, there was so much more people in the in-person auditions. There was like thousands.
Mhm.
This one, it was more personal, it was more hand-picked.
Okay, so obviously I've been a fan of the show. I've been reviewing the first two episodes. And I've been a fan of yours because
Thank
I felt like you are really a good artist, and also that like the comments about just being about the look and the vibe were a little bit unfair, because I felt like you've kind of proven it in sing off like
Yeah.
songs that you did. Um, how did you feel that went for you? Did you feel like they were just kind of stuck on one thing and then that was the thing that they were picking on? Or do you think it was fair criticism
I feel
each time?
um I feel like my first impression to the judges just didn't quite land, and they were just looking at it from like quite a different lens. So
Mhm.
that was the biggest thing, and then from then onwards, it's like I couldn't recover from that initial first impression.
Right.
Of course, the vocal comments, it was fair, and like that's one thing I do know about myself, and like that's why I was there for, to really take advantage of their vocal coaches.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like the free vocal coach, but yeah, some comments were fair, some were like, oh really, but like yeah, it was, yeah.
I spoke to Charlie a few days ago, and he was just kind of mentioning that obviously they don't prepare you for any of the tasks, but the TikTok one, for example, was something that they had mentioned that you'll be doing. Um, so you had time to prepare for that a little bit more than maybe what we saw on the show, because it felt like it was super rushed, like everyone didn't have enough time.
Yeah.
How did that experience go for you?
From what I read, it was just like, I thought we had our music, and I think the idea I got was like to match what I do on my TikTok to my lyrics, because that's what I was used to seeing on the outside. But like then incorporate like my personality, which is like silly, but again it just didn't land with the judges.
Yeah, you know what, like even your like end product is definitely something I would see on TikTok, so I was a little bit like, I'm not sure where this is coming from, because you see lots of TikToks that happen like that. Had you had sorry?
It was called transitions, like transition talk. That's
Yeah,
like TikTok.
exactly. You see a lot of it, and everyone loves a bit of a before and after, a bit of a story. So it made sense to me. Did you have experience with TikTok, or was that one of the platforms that you were like,
no,
not a fan?
I'm a social media addict. I can't lie.
Okay.
Still figuring out the algorithm, but yeah, I have experience with like editing and all of that jazz.
Okay. So then, did you feel like you had a better chance with the TikTok tasks?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
I thought like all my transitions were clean, the editing was good, you know. But I think, again, like I said on the show, and I am sticking by it, maybe they're just not my target audience.
Yeah. No, I think that was fair enough. I saw a post actually that you shared recently with Becky kind of mentioning, we didn't see it on the show, but she mentioned that you kind of gave her like early days Rihanna vibes, you know. Was there things that we haven't seen on the show that you kind of maybe want to share, or also just took from it?
Yeah, like I did get comments. Like, of course, like on the show, it's as if like I didn't have any like good comments at all, or like any good feedback, but I did, and like, you know, it meant a lot to me hearing it. Like Becky Hill, her first impression with me, she said, you know, before Rihanna got her vocal coaching, and like she said, before 2011 and stuff, she did say I reminded her of Rihanna. And then at the O2 performance, Jason was like, right, Xyzelle, this is actually the first time I'm seeing you as a star, like you're up there on that stage and you look like a star, like, yeah, damn. But it didn't air again. It was just all the hard hitting stuff that aired, which is fair enough.
It is a show at the end of the day, and I think they want to kind of spice it up a little bit. But I had to say, like, even on the stage, I feel like that's where you really, for me as well, like you really are a star. Like you do have that presence. So it is always good to see. And then obviously recently you had a performance you did for BBC Point West as well for your new single Stargazing. Like you can really show that you're in your element when you get to perform and you're comfortable with the music that you're releasing. So I reviewed this, and in my opinion, I thought maybe you were doing some of the, you know, the last songs that you do to compete when you're in the bottom three, to show that you're a vocalist. Was that the case, or did you have other options that you were going to go for and selected something different?
For the I'd rather go blind, like that was definitely my first choice, because I have an inkling feeling that like they would be like vocals, like that would be my main like feedback, to be honest. And that song, I'm so comfortable like singing with that song, so I was like, I have to pull it out the bag, and that's that one song. Whereas the one Blue Lights, I wanted to sing On My Mind by Georgia Smith, you know, more upbeat, but it didn't get time. So I went best thing, which is Blue Lights, and it did have the rappy bit. That's the music that I do, you know.
No, I did think it was a good choice, but I felt like you definitely like use the stage more. You kind of do the dances. You're less of a I'm just going to stand here and sing performer. For me, I think it was a shame that we didn't get to see more of that. Like we obviously saw it in the challenge, and I thought you were great in the challenge. But we have to talk about it a little bit. When it came to forgetting the lyrics and Akeem forgetting his, what was that whole situation about?
I honestly, I don't know why I did it. I didn't know the song enough to try and save him. And came down to it, because it was like a part by part, right? Everyone had a part.
Right.
So I subconsciously I was like, okay, I've done the chorus, now that's done. But then forgetting, no, after the chorus it's actually me.
Yeah.
Like sing the part for me, which is fair enough. But yeah, and when I got off stage, like I think you can even see in the clip, I was like laughing a little bit. I was like, guys, I'm actually pissed off. Like
yeah.
I was like pissed off. I was pissed off with myself. Like, most importantly, like that's what I do want to say. I was angry with myself, not anyone else. And off screen, off camera, I do say, like, by the way, I'm not angry at any of you. Like, I take full responsibility to what happened, but I am just pissed, and I'm sorry if my energy is that towards you guys, but it's not. Like, I don't mean that.
Did it not piss you off that no one kind of defended that?
Nah.
Because I know it's a competition, but at the end of the day, everyone knew that wasn't your part either.
Yeah. I mean, it is a competition at the end of the day. I think I focused on that detail of, like, you know, I'm not really entitled to anyone defending me or anything like that. So it was a case of, like, yeah, that's fair. But the most important thing was, like, me and the artists, like, knew what really happened and what the actual vibe was.
Right. And then did you feel that maybe, like, actually when you went to tell the judges, that was that really, like, nerve-wracking to do? Because I'm sure you probably knew how that was going to come across, like, oh, like, I'm snitching.
Yeah, you know what it is? Yeah, I'm just like, sometimes I am naive, and like at the time, thinking back at it, I didn't think they could spin it that way, that I was snitching, because like in my little bubble of head, I was just like, look, I want to have the chance to explain to them why I stumbled, but I know I'm gonna be bottom 3, but I just want them to put me in the bottom 3 for the reason.
Yeah.
And it just didn't come across like that on TV at all, which is such a shame, you know. And beforehand, I did ask Okeem, like, yo, like, can I tell them? And you can even see on the camera, I said I was going to tell them. And Okeem was like, you can tell your truth. That's okay.
Yeah. I mean, we have a comment from only 1D33J. Sorry, I don't know how you pronounce it, but it says, ain't no one as humble as you, basically. So props to you. Yeah, no, I can imagine it was like a nerve-wracking thing. But even from my perspective, I felt like, you know, when someone like calls you out for something, you have to say why it's gone right or wrong. Like, you can't just sit there and say, oh yeah, I fucked up, because it is partly true, but not totally true, because you did cover somebody else's part. So I did get that. Obviously, that brought Okeem into the bottom 3. Did that make you feel bad?
No, bottom 3. This is what I'm saying. People think, because it looks like it on TV, which is fair enough. The reaction's fair because of what they see on TV, but like, I know my intentions was pure, and I did not want Okeem in the bottom 3. And I even said that to the judges. I was like, listen, Okeem, yeah, like, that's not even the whole point as to why I'm here. That's not it. Like, it doesn't matter for that. What matters is put me in this for the truth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, why would I want Okeem in the bottom 3 with me? Strategically, that doesn't make sense. Because as soon as I heard I was with him in the bottom 3, I was like, it's a wrap.
Yeah. I mean, I obviously, as a reviewer as well, I didn't really want to say who my favorite is, but definitely he is definitely killing it vocally. I think he's amazing at what he does. Yeah. Your favorite person anyway says, got to do what's best for you, and I'm not going to read the next comment because they're trying to catch me out. Being on the show, did it make you feel like it's changed your perspective of doing reality shows in the future?
I want to say yeah, but like, it was fun. It was a good experience. You know what I mean? I think I'd definitely be up to do another reality.
Okay. That's good. That's good to know. I mean, you've had the experience of auditioning at least for 2, and now being on 1. Is there anything you would do differently now that you know some things are aired in a certain way and some conversations are put out a certain way? Would you do something different?
Like, maybe not be as transparent, but then that's not really true to myself. You know what I mean? Like, I think on the show, I was just 100% transparent. When I was angry, when I was happy, when I was like sad, like when I was completely out there. And you know, when you're transparent, they can't show everything too. They'll have to cut it anyway. But I don't, to be honest, I don't really know what I would change. Like I could say that I'll keep some stuff to myself, but just me as a person, I'm very 100%.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I think it came across as well. I felt like it wasn't an act, or you're trying to kind of do something for TV. It felt very genuine. I have to mention one thing, because I did actually see you guys as a group off the show are quite tight. I feel like there's a lot of like engagement and interaction with you that I've seen. But on the show, it felt quite like, you know, a little bit spicy, I have to say. And obviously yours starts with Barry. Like episode 1, I think it actually was the first thing that we see is a bit of a fire between you. Charlie's in the house as well. Love to you. How real was that?
It first day, it was real. I think, yeah, Barry is Barry. I will say his truth. Do you know what I'm saying? Barry is Barry, and I got a lot of love for Barry now. We got to know each other. We got to like see that we're quite similar and stuff. But yeah, it was all real. It was all true. But you know, it was a case of we were mature and we were like, this is reality TV, and you know, competition. But outside of it, like, what? There's nothing we can take personal, really and truly. And that's the same goes for all the castmates. Like, we can't take anything personal because we've all been shoved into this situation. The thing about Barry is he's actually such a sweet, sensitive soul. Nice. Like, guys. Off screen, and he was just like, I'm so emotional. I say stuff when just because it pops into my head, but I am really sorry. Like, he apologized, and it's a case of like, I'm not gonna be bitter about it, you know. Like,
when you went into the competition, was there anyone that you thought, oh, that's my competition, or like, that's the person that I think I need to compete against?
The person I did think was actually Barry, because I was like, he is so loud, personality, outfit, voice, like, and confident eyes. Like, he matched my energy. So nothing to do with like vocals. If we were to say vocals, it would be Nena and Okeem. But yeah. So
what can we expect now post show? Like, obviously, I think you and also Jay, I have to shout out Jay like again, because like, obviously he's taken a situation and I don't know if this was strategic, but regardless, he's like done that song. It's gone a little bit viral, it's caught on, and he's kind of, you know, now promoting it. It's doing well. It's now I think on 2,000 streams already. What are your strategies post show? Like, is there something you're planning to do?
Yeah, of course. Like, before I got on the show, I got confirmed as one of like youth music charities, like grantees.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm being funded by like youth music, Turtle Bay, TikTok, like, so it kind of all tied in together. Because going into the show, I did just go on it for the platform, being on like winning. That was a bonus, but to me it was like, I don't need to win. I'm great platform, and now I've, you know, after filming the show, I've been working on my EP, which is like set to release quite soon. So yeah.
Nice. And I mentioned obviously a little bit earlier with the BBC Point West to perform on a big like TV show. I mean, you have now with also Project Icon. How did that feel though? Like, to have original music out there.
That was surreal, and that is the only word for it. Like, surreal. It felt like I was on Good Morning America.
It must be such a kind of tick for you as an artist. Like, I've actually got to do this.
I mean, like, it's all about the journey for me, and I feel like I've progressed so much from like even just the last year or two, and like, to me that's enough. And it was just a great experience all around, and I could show people that, all right, you guys saw what you saw at Project Icon, you know, I got criticized a lot, I got direct feedback and stuff, but outside of what did I actually do with that? And you know, I wanted to show that on the BBC.
Well, you did. I think it's a great song. So if anyone is watching back, please do go check it out. I'll put the links in the description. And also, yeah, you are definitely a great performer. I can see this being like just a stepping stone for where you're going. You also actually, I think you've been quite busy really actually outside the show because you have a performance tonight, haven't you?
Tonight I'm supporting Ivorian Doll.
Yes, amazing. That's major. I mean, she's killing it also. So how did that come about for you?
So the promoter who's putting on the show is actually my best friend. And he's
amazing
for like years. Like we're a team partner. He puts on shows and events, whole nine bars, whole nine shows. And you know, when he gets these artists down, he puts me on the lineup, and it's kind of a thing that works. But yeah, like we're in this together sort of thing.
So we have one question here. If you could feature with any artist in the world, who would you pick? It's a great question.
I am DDB or Doja Cat. Like,
oh yeah,
any female artist that's in the alt R&B / hip hop world is like gonna be a big win for me. But yeah, like I think what's really achievable maybe is I am DDB.
Okay. Well, no, you put it out in the atmosphere. Look, if you had asked yourself if you get to perform at the O2 stage on BBC Point West, you may have a different, you know, opinion. So anything can happen. Let's put that out there. With the EP that you have coming up, we have Lillie-Jo. Sorry, Lillie-Jo was the contestant that you took out, but she's also amazing. She said, please notice her.
The thing about it is like, all their songs have been stuck in my head. Their voices are always in my head.
That's really good. And generally, it's so nice to see you guys so tight outside the show. I feel like now you've formed a bit of a music network, and whatever you guys go on to do, I'm sure your paths will cross as well. What can we expect from the EP? Sonically, I know, like you mentioned, I mean, you did some of the rapping as well. Are we going to get more of that? What can we expect?
You're going to get more like vulnerability from me, and it is a rap soul EP. Nice. Just because that's the type of music I do. I'm not a pop singer. Sorry, Frank. I'm just not pop.
Fair.
I kept saying I was a pop singer. I'm not a pop singer. But yeah, more like tuning more into like my hip hop influences with the flows. Obviously, like I'll still be singing, but I have so much shit to say that I gotta include my hip hop flows in there. Nice. And yeah, it is about my journey as a young woman trying to get to my dreams. That's what the whole premise of the EP is about.
Nice. So that's super exciting. With the judges, actually, you mentioned Frank. Did they keep in touch after the show?
We spoke to them at the premiere, but Becky Hill has like, you know, left a couple comments here and there. Nice. Not much from Frank has one message, but Jason Derulo not so much. But you know, he's a pop star. Yeah.
Jet setting probably everywhere. Have they given you any advice that you'll take on now moving forward?
Yeah, Frank said to me, Xyzelle, never give up, keep that confidence, and definitely like target that niche that you're talking about.
Amazing. Well, it sounds like you're already on your way doing that. I'm glad that I've been able to discover you. So hopefully our paths cross in the music scene also. Thank you so much for your time and good luck at tonight's show. Any final messages for anyone?
Yeah, just do you and fuck the haters.
Exactly. And that's exactly what she's doing, and she's killing it right now. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm excited to see what's ahead for you.
All right.
Cool.
Bye.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.